Do YouTubers like me make modding look too easy? Have you ever wondered how bad I was at soldering when I started? Well, today we're going to look back at 3 of my earliest mods and make fun of how bad I was at modding. This is the first Game Boy Color I ever modded. This is also the first time I ever did a video on a mod. Well, I probably did the macro first, but anyways, when I built this for the video, I called it an IPS display. It is not. It's a TFT screen. This is what a TFT screen looks like. That is the brightest it will ever get, and here is an IPS display. That's the difference. Everybody always loves this Game Boy, so I gotta bring it out as much as possible. But this kit didn't require any soldering, and honestly, I don't even know if they sell these anymore. Let's open it up and see how good of a job I did. Since there's no soldering required, I don't know how I can really judge this. Guess how tight the screws are, maybe. Looks good. This is also an original shell. It was in really nice shape. I bought it originally just because I was collecting all the Game Boys, and then watching a bunch of YouTube videos, I'm like, I want to mod this so I can actually see the screen. And I was terrified of soldering, like a lot of you guys are. Soldering really isn't that scary. At least with Game Boy modding, most of the time, it's really simple. I also did a very deep clean on this when I got it, so it's still very clean on the inside. Obviously, the old flux is still going to be there, and here we go. No soldering, so you can just lift it right up. That's nice. But all this is original membranes, literally original everything. I did a pretty good job of cleaning this. This is one of my first electronic cleanings ever. I'm impressed with myself. This has definitely been worked on before I got it. You can tell by the leftover flux that someone's been in here. You can see someone either cleaned up or replaced the battery contacts. I mean, like, obviously I've been in here, but this has not been opened since I made that video in July of 2020. But taking a look back here, we've got some double-sided tape for the touchpad. Oh, that's like really on there. I don't know if we're gonna get any deeper because I don't want to break this, but there's like a thick foam double-sided tape holding these together. I don't know if it's the original tape holding it down or if it's a new tape. I'd have to go look at the video, but honestly, I don't want to watch the original video. Maybe I'll react to some of my old videos in the 100,000 subscriber special, but I think that's about all the stuff I can do to look through this. And yes, I have the wrong screen lens. I always hated, and I still hate, those really thick border ones. So I'd rather have the original style screen lens and see the edges of the screen. Plus, I don't want it to say Game Boy Color Light like all of them do. I just wish I would have matched the buttons in the screen lens. I know I could change that now, but I don't want to. This is history right here. Next up is the Game Boy Pocket. You may recognize this from a review I did a long time ago. This came out around the time I did the Austin video, the first Austin video, and it's just a Game Boy Pocket in the DMG style. None of this is original. This is all from AliExpress. But I always thought that the DMG style pockets looked really cool. We can flip this over. I don't know why I'm in my in-depth tutorial mode, but let's tear this apart too. I will admit I have been in here since. I was just recently in here for my short on the amp, but I haven't touched any of the original soldering I did. So the only thing I did do is I'm pretty sure I desoldered the touchpad for the color palettes. Yeah, there's the amp. This is like, it's a decent soldering job. It's not my best, but it works. It's good enough. But the first thing we can see is the power switch soldering. The end of the wire is really long, but it's a pretty solid soldering job, and it looks pretty much like what I would do now. I might have trimmed the tip of it though, but let's keep tearing this thing down. I was 100% truthful with the review. I even genuinely did wheeze when I was reading off the title. This mod is the Super OSD version RIPS LCD Retro Pixel Brightness Backlight LCD for Game Boy Pocket for GBP LCD Console IPS LCD. Oh my god. I almost died reading that. It's a video I'm still very fond of because I think it was probably the first video I ever did that I was like really excited about. I was really happy with how it turned out. It was the first time I really just said, I don't care what people think. I'm just gonna be myself, and I'm going to own it. So I have great memories of that video. Going back to the topic at hand, I probably would add a bit more solder to this, but again, it's not that bad. But this was the most frustrating part about the Pocket, and probably still one of the most frustrating things about the Pocket. It's like all vias. There's no like actual test pads. So considering what I had to do for this mod, I don't think this is a bad job at all, but I could definitely do better now. This has turned into a video of me defending myself. And last but certainly not least, we have the world's blackest Game Boy. There is another lie with this one. It's not the world's blackest paint. It's the third blackest paint in the world. I got scammed by the marketing. Oh, would you look at that? The battery cover's broken. Put some batteries in and, oh, classic me, forgot the light pipe. Let's see, let's turn up the brightness a little bit. Cool, cool. And let's turn, left doesn't seem to work. Oh, yeah, that's right. I used to mess up on this a lot. So if you do it wrong, like I used to do a lot, pressing select, just select, not pressing anything else, will lower the brightness. One thing that always bothered me about this Game Boy was I never gave it black buttons. It does make sense to keep the original buttons just so you can actually see some contrast. We're gonna add some black buttons to it because I have the money to do that and I have a lot of buttons. But first, see if all of the buttons even work. Also, there's a lot of paint in the speaker grills, so the speaker's not very good. And oh, what's that? Can you guys tell me what that says right there? I think it's telling you to subscribe to the channel, so thank you to Natalie the Nerd for making this awesome cart. If you press A and B, oh, look at that. It goes to a button tester. A and B work good. Right, left, up and down, start and select, R and... oh, L just doesn't work. So let's see if we can fix that. Well, this is the most recent of the 3 mods that we've looked at today. This is by far the worst. I rushed this video out and it just was not good. And I'm just really hoping that we don't break this, because I also did this to a really crappy old shell. Wow, that's something I don't even do anymore. It's taped down. Ah, and see, that's where I messed up. But you'd think that these should be mirrored, like it should be a butterfly, symmetrical. It's not. You want to do the second pin from the left. Now that wouldn't cause L to not work, but that is why just pressing select lowers the brightness. Let's dig a little deeper though and see if we can fix L before just straight up replacing it. I want to go even deeper just to see what the other side of this looks like. And TP2 actually looks pretty good. Now this soldering job isn't the best either, but it's okay. It works, and if yours looks like this, then don't worry about it. This trigger looks like it's in really good shape, so it might just be dirty on the inside. You can literally just pluck these out and you can dip some IPA in there. I like to take a toothbrush, dance it around in there. You don't want to close it up with liquid still in there because it'll be very hard for it to dry out, and it probably wouldn't help the button situation. Take some canned air, spray it all in there. You should be able to dry it out or spray the liquid out pretty fast. Then you can just carefully push this back in. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Yeah, unfortunately the left trigger is just gonna have to be replaced. I don't have any of those on hand right now, so I'm gonna do that at a later point. If I do get some in before I post this video, I'll show it off in some B-roll right here. Hopefully this video made you first-time solderers more comfortable attempting a mod, because even the best of us weren't the best to start. Even I still mess up and break things. So like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later guys. No. I'm about to throw this thing across the room.